Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bark Side Show. My name is Wilson. That is Tara, and we are jumping right in. We tried to talk to her the other day, but she was up on the mountain. She was in some kind of quadrant, some sector. There were some searches going on.
I think there were
We had
some
to
aliens landing.
we had to clear this vector and watch this sector. But Michelle joins us now from Epic Animal Recovery. And Tara, you have been trying to get her on with us for a couple weeks now. Michelle, hi, welcome.
Yes.
Guys, glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
So,
doing this again with us.
so Tara, real quick, tell everybody watching here why you wanted to talk about what Michelle's got going on in Epic Animal Recovery. Why do you think this is so important for people to hear about?
Well, I think that nobody knows the service exists, or very few people, and I think it's very important that people know that this is here for them. Um, your pet goes missing. Sometimes you're out of options. You don't know what to do. Well, here's Michelle with Epic Animal Recovery, and I wanted her to get some press. I want people to know there's some options out there. So I'm
Uh,
excited because
and
I
for the
don't even
people,
know a lot either, and I want to learn. So
Well, and for the people down in Indian Trail that don't know, like Epic Animal Recovery, it's animal recovery. It's in the name. That's what Michelle does.
that's right.
There are some more details there. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I just want to say right from the start, one of my Instagram followers had their dog go missing before the 4th of July. We mentioned on our 4th of July show that it's a terrible time for animals, for your dogs, especially just to kind of go running off. So, Michelle, we could talk about you here, but I want to hear from you. For people that don't know, what's your elevator speech? Like when people go, okay, so what do you do? What do you tell them?
It's like search and rescue for lost pets. So when your dog, your cat, or your goat goes missing, if it's got a scent, we'll basically look for it. So our dogs are trained scent specific. So we just give them the scent and off we go. But it's a whole thing. I mean, we're kind of a one-stop shop. We do everything from the beginning to the end, and that includes your sign campaigns, designing signs for you, helping you decide where to put the signs because that's really important. I know we spoke, briefly about that before, how important the signs are. It's going to be my epitaph on my tombstone. Signs, signs, signs. I saw the signs, right? So we do everything from the beginning to the end. We do our own trapping. We have multiple types of different traps depending on the behavior and what is needed for the situation. We have everything from your typical small box cat trap to bigger box traps to big enclosure traps that have laser triggers and all kinds of fancy stuff. But a lot of that is based on the behavior of the lost pet. And then, of course, we have the good old search dogs. And these guys are tried and true. I train them from the get go. From the minute they come into the house, they start training. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty amazing. I've met some really amazing people along the way, and I've just been fortunate enough to have some really great dogs and great team members.
I want to ask you a little bit. I'll ask you later on about the traps and what that means for people. When do you trap? When do you not? But I know that your story about this really wasn't something that you had kind of planned on doing with your life, was it? How did all this get started for you?
So a little dog named Epic, little black dog, about 30 pounds, came into my life. I was actually living in Charlotte at the time, and she was found as a stray in Charlotte. And a friend brought her over to me, and I fell in love with her. Kept her overnight, and she's just a little tiny black dog, nothing special about her. Until one day, until one day I was playing ball with her, and she couldn't find the ball, and I just noticed she was using her nose to follow the scent of the ball. And I have never done any kind of scent work with a dog, and so it just kind of just one thing led to another. I did a lot of self education, went to some scent theory seminars and some police canine seminars and things like that. One thing led to another, and a lady in my neighborhood actually lost her dog, and the rescue that she got the dog from called me because they had heard I was doing a little bit of scent work with my dog and asked if I could help. She was right around the corner, and I said, "Sure, what can it hurt?" And so I took my little CSI kit over, and I thought I was all cool and everything, and I told the lady what I could do. I would try, and sure enough, I gave Epic the scent, and I mean, I was floored. I mean, I got a taste of it. That was what ignited it for me. And Epic found that dog 3 houses away within 15 minutes.
That's
Somebody had it
amazing.
in the house. look, I'm getting chill bumps. I get chill bumps when I think about that. You know, I was very fortunate. I mean, that was kismet. You know, that was one of those things meant to be. That little dog has changed my life and many other lives, and she taught me everything I know. She is my mentor. She is my best friend. You are too.
Who do you have there with you
Funny how they
today?
know.
Who do you have there with you today? Who is that?
Seeker, Seeker's over here with her ears laid back, like, thanks, Mom. Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll go get ice cream after. But
Um,
yeah, so, you know, it was really cool to see that happen, and that's just kind of what sparked it. When it was one thing led to another, and like I said earlier, it was a lot of self education and learning. There's a lot to learn of when it comes to search and recovery work and scent work and training dogs and, you know, behavior patterns of the lost pets, handling and dealing with and caring for the families, you know, along the way, the pet owners. You bond really quickly with somebody in distress like that. So yeah, so a lot goes into it, but that little black dog has made it happen.
and and if you Google Epic Animal Recovery, their website is epicanimalrecovery.org. They're all over the place. And speaking of being all over the place, I saw stories about Epic Animal Recovery from as far away as Texas and like all across the region, all over the place. And people that are kind of just reporting their successes and maybe some people that you've helped. You mentioned though, and this is like literally my worst nightmare to have my dog go missing or to have something happen. We just got through 4th of July and there were all kinds of reports of dogs and just all that kind of stuff. What people watching this and they might just stumble across this kind of going, okay, my dog's missing. What do I do? What do they do? Like if their dog goes missing, what do you suggest? What are the first steps?
The first steps that we suggest, I actually have a really nice infographic that we send out. It's kind of like the first 24 hours, you know, first 24, 48 hours is really important. The first thing that you want to do is what we call a hasty search. And your hasty search is going to be, depending on what, you know, you're looking for, dog, cat, or whatever, your hasty search is immediately go outside, see if you can see which direction the pet went, look under cars, look in, you know, your neighbor's backyard, places like that. And if you're not finding it that way, you get on the phone, family, friends, get people out looking. The big thing at that point in time is nobody should be calling the pet's name, sends them running for miles. So,
Yeah, I've seen that happen too.
I've
So,
seen
and
it. Yeah.
I'm a big person. Just whatever, however big your dog is, I have like a 6 foot rope leash that we get on his harness, and we are good to go. And that's what I. Sometimes it gets so crazy, I'll wrap it around my wrist and grab it and just hold on to that. So that's good to know.
Right.
So when this happens and when someone calls you, what I know you're probably hearing from a lot of people here and a lot of people in need, and they kind of want you. You can't. I guess what I'm getting to, you can't get to everybody right now. How does that work for you? That would be really hard for me to kind of have to tell somebody, can't get to you right now. You got to wait.
well, and that's the truth, because a lot of people, you know, if I have a lost animal, I'm like you, I'm going to have the armed forces out. You know, I want everybody out looking, you know, and helping. But there are things that you can do if you contact us soon enough. There are things that people can do that they don't think about that they can actually do in the meantime of us getting to them, meaning us as a dog team. And I do have team members that are taking the calls, and they're coaching and advising, and they're helping on Facebook, and they're, you know, emails and all that. So we do have kind of a process, and our team is expanding as well because there is a lot of demand. So, so we're actually having a seminar in Charlotte towards the end of October. So super excited about that. But a lot of this too is just education. So I'm really into, you know, I want to get into more of the educational side to teach people, don't let Fido out off leash, you know, during a thunderstorm. Don't take Fido to a 4th of July event. They don't enjoy it. Leave them at home. You know, right. There's just so many things that, you know, use the loop in the leash. That's it's not there for decoration. That hole in the leash at the end is there for a reason. Put your hand through it and hold on to the leash, you know. I do it. If you have a scared dog, double leash your dog. There's nothing embarrassing about it. You know, I have a dog at home that I trapped up on the Appalachian Trail. I double leash her anytime we go anywhere, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, so there's a lot that can be done.
You mentioned before trapping and tracking, and how does that work? Do you how do you know when to track and when to trap?
So the trapping comes once we know where the animal has settled. So whether it's a cat or a dog or whatever whatever it is that we're trapping, depending on when and where and the situation, behavior behind it kind of determines what type of trap we use. We usually don't just go and throw a trap out unless we know that the animal has settled into an established area, because that can actually do a little bit more harm than good. We want to make sure that we don't scare the animal off by setting a trap. So sometimes you have the little dogs that takes a certain type of trap. Sometimes you have the Great Danes that take a huge enclosure trap. Sometimes you have dogs that won't go into a trap at all, and you have to bring out the enclosure trap. So it just all depends on the situation. And as far as tracking goes, now tracking and trailing dogs, when I bring the dogs out, it is because we haven't had a sighting in a few days, for a couple of days. And when we don't have sightings coming in, we need to know where the dog went, or the cat. So we give the dog the scent. We get a scent article based on, it could be a dog bed, a collar, cat carrier, just depends on what that is. And we give the dog the scent. They're able to give us a direction of travel. They're able to, narrow and pinpoint an area that the dog or the cat or whatever might be hanging out in, which would, possibly justify going ahead and setting a trap or setting up food stations, and cameras. So we have cameras that are, send pictures to our cell phones, and so that way we can monitor the area.
Amazing. That's a lot of things it's a lot of things that you do. Yeah.
Do you watch The Tracker on CBS on Sunday nights? You ever watch that show, The Tracker?
I haven't.
It's a good show. You should watch it. I think you'd like it.
I was hoping they would ask me to be, bring the dogs in and be part of that.
Well, that's kind of what I was going at. Like, you should be on there, because I think that's kind of what I was going for. It's a good show. You'd like it.
We should be a special guest, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so 2 more questions here that I have. Terry, you can jump in if you want. 2 more questions right here. You mentioned if you track dogs, you can track cats. What else do you track?
I will track just about anything, but I draw the line at crocodiles and snakes. I'm not going to, if it can eat my dogs, I'm not going to track it. So I will.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I've done turtles. I have done goats. I have done horses. I've done people. I have done cats and dogs, and I've done a ferret. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I actually have a bearded dragon at home. So I'm going to, now that it's warm enough, I'm going to take him out and train the dogs on the dragon too. That way it just gives them something different to look for, because they are trained scent specific. So whatever scent I give them, that's what they're going to go and look for. I mean, I can give them a scent of a dog, and I can take them through a dog park, and they'll stay on that one scent the entire time and go find that dog.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. Guys, they work hard.
If you could get rid of one thing, just wipe it from the face of the earth, would it be fireworks or retractable leashes? Gone forever.
Fireworks.
Oh, okay.
Fireworks. Yeah.
I think that would be mine too, because the drones and everything. Come on, people, we're past that now. It's just annoying. And walking around the last couple of days, there's still fireworks out on the ground, on the sidewalk, and everything. It just bums me out. The website is epicanimalrecovery.org. They're up on the Facebook. We'll share some of those stuff. We have it down at the bottom there at the link. And it looks like you're kind of on the road and in action right now, Michelle. Tara, I am so glad you connected us, because this is something
Isn't
that
it
I think
fascinating?
Well, we've been doing dog stuff for years and years, and I feel like at some point in time I heard something, but I didn't quite get it. So Michelle, thank you so much, because this is really going to help some people, and I hope we kind of help get the word out.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope so. We have a new website that'll be launching pretty soon, and that's going to have a lot of new information on it, and some blogging and a lot of educational material and stuff like that. Super excited about that, but I really appreciate you guys having us on. You guys should come out and train with us sometime and come and watch.
I'm going to do it one of these days.
I'll do it when it's not 100 bazillion degrees outside.
That's what right.
I was down in South Carolina today, and it's brutal.
Oof.
We're getting up at 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning to be finished by 9.
That's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Not a morning person. Not a morning person.
It's too hot out there. Well, and I mean, the heat just makes finding these lost animals out there even more vital. I know. So,
It does.
epicanimalrecovery.org. Michelle, Tara, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in,
Thank
everybody.
you.
We hope you helped you. That was the Bark Side.
Guys.
Ciao.